What's up, crew? Inside YKTR is back. The crew is back on deck. We have Lukey in the building because he's always in the building. And the boss is back from Mighty Aotearoa. What's up, Skip?
Hey, bro, what's up?
How was the break, man?
No, it was good. I needed it. I sort of can feel myself getting like a little bit, not anxious, but just frustrated in the smallest things. Like comments were starting to fuck me off and people were starting to cut me off in roads and I was getting angry off the back of that. So sort of felt like I needed a break, but it was good. Haven't been home for 2 years, so mum was pumped to see me.
Yeah, how was the family?
Yeah, good. Like,
Same shit?
yeah, I kind of just went home and slept and ate and then slept and just...
Yeah, it looked like you had a couple of good feeds out.
Basically just waking up and there's food on the table and eat it and then sit by the fireplace and you fall back asleep. So feeling good now though. So got some shit done over there and excited to get back to work.
Mattresses on the ground, the whole
proper New Zealand vibe.
Oh, yes.
And all my family was there as well. So like my nephews, I haven't seen them in 2 years. One's like almost as tall as me now. So yeah, it was just like, there was a house of 9 people. And if you know me, I like my space as well. So I wasn't used to it.
It's kind of like The Office these days.
Yeah, it's a lot like The Office. So yeah, I was in my room a little bit, just going to sleep and yeah.
How are we?
How were we? Nah, work was good. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Friday was good to go down and get the tattoo with Scope and vlog all that. Then me and you had a bit of a debrief meeting on the Friday afternoon together, going through ideas for what we would pitch when you got back. So yeah.
You know what's funny about that? Like we kind of had a bit of a chat about like, okay, when he gets back, here's kind of what we want to do with it. And then you came in yesterday, which kind of rolls very nicely, segueing into the
I set you up for that.
Yeah, into the new roles part. But we kind of had in our heads, we're like, all right, well, when Isaac gets back, he'll be nice and refreshed and charged and ready to roll.
Yeah.
So we need to hit him with what we want to do. And then you came in and hit us with basically what we want to do.
It's like you'd set a camera up.
So it was pretty... It was
I might have cameras, yeah. I might have cameras.
Might not be a bad idea.
He's already locked the fucking piss fridge for us. So, but yeah, obviously restructuring the business was something that Luke and I wanted to have a chat to you about. And you clearly, while you were away, I know you do your best work on a flight, came in with a bit of a plan and tell the lovely people at home kind of what that looks like, man.
Yeah, just sort of like the systems that we've got in place right now are very startup-y. So like Luke wears like 10 hats, like I wear 5, 6, you wear fucking whatever. So it was kind of got to the point where I sort of pulled myself back and I went to you boys. I go, I write down everything that you do and send me an email and you can send it private if you want. And then I kind of just break down everyone's roles into like a graph and sort of just took a step back and moved some things around. But man, just sort of come back and like probably Lukey was doing too much work. You were looking for more responsibility. Natasha, who works over in France for us, she was probably handling like a little bit too much where obviously I'd like a trust her with a lot of things, but I could move that into a lot of your roles moving forward. So I kind of just pulled back and simplified everyone's roles and then we'll sort of build the structure off the back of that. So how did you guys feel about the meeting?
Was it yesterday's meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly, like I said before, exactly what sort of Jackson and I were talking about. This is what we think we need. We just need, like obviously you said I wear a lot of hats. I think when you broke it down to in like wearing a lot of hats, I might wear a hat for the sake of wearing a hat sometimes where somebody else can wear that hat. Yeah,
and but a lot of that's on you as well because you probably haven't learned how to delegate properly as well.
True. And I think it's also what I'm just used to. I'm just used to, it's been like a crazy 6-8 weeks, you would say, of like everything changing around here. And I've gone from doing everything that I've done to going, all right, now there's more people, but I still want to do it. But I know these people should be doing it as well. So
even like small stuff like say the bacon and egg rolls and you want to do the stamp for the rating, bro, pass that on. Like let Caleb do that.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I'll do that. Like
whenever it's something creative or artistic, like you find people, and it's just a general rule of thumb. It's always hard to let go. And I would have assumed you had the same thing when Luke first came on. Like I say to Luke all the time, I can do that, and he goes, bro, it's quicker if I do it. And I'm like, I know, but your time can be spent doing something else. So
and like I said,
defined roles will help that,
and that's a part of scaling. I've said this to Luke in private as well. It happened to me when I went to Bali for a trip, and Natasha took over the posting for me, and I was fucking stressing out. I was like, this is how you post. So you write like first name, last name here, and like she's the mother of 2 kids. Like I think she knows how to post on parcels. So that was and I understand it, and I think it's just gonna happen more and more as we start to get bigger and bigger. And there's a lot of times where you do a lot of work and you feel like you're doing lots of important stuff, but sometimes they're in the context of everything, they're probably not that important or as important as you think it is. So it's just finding that balance. It's like kind of working hard and smart, but then being able to delegate as well.
Yeah, it was a giggle writing down. It took 2 of us to write down all of Luke's roles in an email. That was probably the bulk of our Friday. But yeah.
Your one was pretty crazy. Your email, you had about 6 or 7 points.
I thought I'd leave it
the
nice
Kiwi
and easy
sloth
for you. Yeah. I knew that you were getting a Google Dropbox from Lukey. So.
Yeah, Natasha wasn't far behind. She was like, everyone was pretty long too.
Yeah. Damn it, fucking missed a trick.
I was making up things. I was like sweeping the floors.
Like pushing my chair and I was like, all right, come on. But as the new roles expand out and more sort of responsibilities come under that, there's also going to be a couple of new hires, which is very exciting. Do you want to roll straight into that?
Yeah, sort of hiring Caleb and Jordan today and / tomorrow. So, man, Caleb's been awesome. Like, they say when you hire people, they either make your life twice as hard or like,
twice as hard or half as
easy? Is that is that how you say it? And like, he's been a pleasure. I literally give him a task and he just goes off and does it, and then he'll come back once he's finished. So that's kind of like the dream sort of scenario when you're hiring someone. He's 17 years old, so
such a good kid, so polite as well.
So polite.
I tell him to stop apologizing. Like he walks past you. Sorry, bro. Sorry. Yeah. Just walk past me.
And like obviously got to have a few private conversations with him. Like the first day, he's like coming with like all these questions, like how do you stay motivated, like stuff like that. So I'm excited about Caleb. I sort of see him as he's going to do a lot of great work for us, but I kind of see him as, I wouldn't say a project, but I kind of want to see the type of human I could half develop. Like obviously, you know what I mean? So I'm going to, that's
the thing with Luke or myself coming in at 26, 27 years old.
You've had some life experience.
Yeah, we're sort of made in that sense. But you're getting a full little blank canvas here to play with.
And he's willing to learn. So
he's very good. Speaking on that point, sorry to interrupt you. He's very, in terms of willing to learn, when we go out on these shoots with Roman, which we're doing today as well, he's like a fucking sponge, man. He's not shy to ask questions. He's locked in the whole time. He doesn't talk shit and skive off when I try to.
Yeah. And that's good. That's what I want. So like I'll force him to read books. Like he's going to have to start reading books. I'm going to teach him how to send up his bank structures and and investing, you know what I mean? So like, I remember, bro, Michael Lark gave me my first book to read. Fucking changed my life. So I kind of want to be that guy for him. And then he'll be on a full-time wage soon. And then there's going to be same as you guys where I'm going to structure bonuses if he hits certain targets. Like if he becomes our full-time photographer where we don't have to hire out, he'll get like a pay rise and bump up like that. But got to have a chat with him, and I want to take his parents out for dinner, but he's only got his dad at the moment, and his dad's going for a bit of a tough time too. So you sort of hear those types of stories. I'm like, fucking need to help this dude. So, and like, I'm not giving him like charity. He's fucking earned everything he's got, but I don't know. I feel like he's in my life for a reason, and in our life for a reason. So I'm excited to sort of get Caleb in and hire him and give him some fucking money.
Before I jump over to you, because you've gone from being the only one working up here on a bench to now apparently there's going to be full-time staff in here. But what about on the other hire, on your old mate Geordie? What's that going to look like? And
obviously, there's like a bit of drama in the air at the moment. But like I said, I'm a little bit calmer than I was probably this time last week. If that happened last week, would have been probably coming in swinging.
Good thing that you were away?
Yeah. Like I woke up after 12 hours sleep and I was like, I don't know, we can touch on it a little bit. Like the big point was sort of how he sort of treated you guys, which is the thing that fucks me off the most. But in saying that, like Geordie's Geordie and like he can get away with a lot of things, but that's probably one thing I won't let slide, and that'll be the first thing that's going to get brought up, but it won't stop me from hiring him. As a macro over the last 6 months, he's been really great. Yep. He's probably had 2 fuck-ups. But yeah, he's been good, man. I'm looking forward to hiring him. We've got his daughters doing a sort of an announcement thing for him. So he knows it's coming. He's a little bit worried at the moment. He's messaging me flat. So I've got a meeting with him today. But it won't be like a shouting match or anything. I'm just going, bro,
he was the issue. Let's move on.
He knows.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I was just going to say, bro, I trust you. Like, I want you here. I want to build this thing with you. I just needed to buy in. And
I think that approach worked in Magic Round as well, right? Extending a bit of trust to Geordie specifically, and he delivered in that sense.
Yeah, and like this is going to be the part of my job that I'm going to have to get used to, is like balancing people, and like
she's still on Kiwi time.
Just balancing. Like everyone's different. Like everyone's motivated by different things, and if I go to Geordie and go like, do this, do that, don't do this, it kind of just finds a way that he'll fucking... he's very similar to Normie. Like, if you tell Normie not to do something, he'll just go do it anyway, because they don't really like being told what to do. But if they got someone that... Like, Brad Arthur was always awesome for Normie, because like, no matter if Normie fucked up, Brad was going, "Buck, I've got you. Yeah. Like, I trust you. You trust me. Let's build this."
And off the back of that, they perform.
Yeah. Where Scope's like, bro, I can show Scope facts and he'll get better off the back of that, because he's been in that environment before where you just got to manage Simi a little bit different. And he's got so much upside, but I needed to buy into the team culture as well.
What about office expansion in general, man? You're going to be okay with having 4 bodies around you at all
Yeah,
times.
I got my screen. I got my.
We got dual
laptop.
screens now. That's the biggest announcement of the entire.
Yeah, I got my screen. But nah, I think it was good for us to have it happen on the Friday as well, on the Thursday. And I think we both reacted, I think, in the right way to the situation. And I think it sort of made me realize a few things that I wanted to take a bit more ownership of. So I think it just worked out with what you came back in on the Monday with. So
yeah. We probably don't have that conversation on Friday about defining our roles if Thursday's issue doesn't happen.
Same as the week before, bro. Like the like it sounds super dramatic now when I was angry, but like I don't pick up a book and read what's the book called? Measure What Matters. I don't read that book if that doesn't happen. So there's always like whenever there's a bad thing, there's always a good thing that comes off the back of it. And sometimes you might not see it at the time, but man, I've basically restructured a whole business off the back of a bit of alcohol on the ground.
Done.
So yeah, and like everyone feels better. Like I feel lighter, you guys feel lighter.
Fuck, we felt good yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, and then like I'm hammering out like the goals, and you guys are going to have to set your own goals as well, and then everyone's going to have to be accountable within the company. So I know you guys know some of my personal goals for you guys in terms of like salaries and stuff like that, but yeah, we'll keep those sort of conversations private, but I think it's important to let people know there's a pathway there. And like we're all sort of striving towards the same things, and once we hit them, everyone gets a bonus off the back of it. Like, and the money's cool, but I think we go out and celebrate beers and fuck, like, look what we're doing here. Like, I got paid money in football, but I remember celebrating wins more than like the 15th when the pay comes in. So we'll build that environment out pretty quickly, I reckon. Here,
yeah, I think one mental adjustment that I sort of realized on the Friday was the whole startup thing. Like I never sort of looked at it through this as a startup lens, but it very much is.
Bro, we're still very startup-y. Like, look, you do this, look, you do that. I'll go do this. Yeah, startup. There's no like clear roles. It's like when you look at football, like we've got like props taking like kicks and conversions at the moment. You know what I mean? Where you just want your prop to do this. And the way I sort of break down the boys' roles is like they've got like a title, and then underneath that they've got like 3 clear roles. And obviously there's a lot of tasks that go within that, but that's basically it. And then once I know that a new role comes on, it gives me like, all right, I need to probably hire someone.
Easier to explain to someone on the piss as well when they say, oh, so what do you do? Now I've actually got 3 roles.
Yeah, I can update my LinkedIn profile finally.
Yeah, Luke's one's just pages and pages.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm excited to have those 2 boys on. Like Geordie's a big topic a lot of the time, and I think he enjoys being the big topic, but like behind the bravado and the shit talk, there's a
proper hard work.
There's a kid there that's got the biggest heart in the world, and like he'll break down in tears with me on conversations about like how excited he is about stuff. So yeah, so I see that side of him as well. But then he's a content freak. He's just good. Like his blogs are awesome. His vlogs are awesome. His podcast is good. So like I want him here, and like Caleb, but like I want to help him. I want to help Geordie as well.
Yeah, I think we all do. Speaking of helping people, you've been helped by a couple of your new mates. I know you want to name drop a few All Blacks. Probably.
Who put this subject in there?
I'm sure you're going to have more of a reason than just, hey, bro, bring up that I'm mates with All Blacks now. But go on, man, the floor's yours. Why do you want to talk about my mate Aaron and the boys?
Yeah, like obviously we hang around a few All Blacks and that whatnot, but they just move differently, eh? Yeah, do you agree?
100%. It was like even like knowing that Aaron reached out to you, be like, hey, bro, Lukey and Jacko, you want to come down there? Thinking Canberra was like a suburb of Sydney.
Yeah, also Aaron, learn your geography.
Yeah, surely some.
Stop inviting us to Canberra for a Highlanders game.
Yeah, it was mad to go out to the game, and like we were walking through, like they're all warming up pre-game, and Aaron's just slung this pass into the stands because he spotted where we were.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Fuck, that's cool!" Like everyone, like it's like Aaron Smith. Yeah, he dropped it. Yeah, but it was like, "Fuck, that's mad!" Like, and now I'm an Aussie, so but it's still sick.
Man, you got to think, but he's
maybe 9 in the world.
Yeah, maybe ever. Besides, would you say Gregan?
You only put sort of George Gregan.
I'd have to put Gregan up.
Yeah, but like when I say they move differently, man, they're like super respectful. They're super polite,
articulate as fuck, man.
Articulate. When they come in there, like Cody Taylor comes through, like shakes everyone's hand, real polite. He comes through, like
introduces himself. He's like, hey, bro, Cody. I'm like, I know, man.
Yeah, like Richie Mo'unga, like he's pretty much the best player in the world right now. Yeah. I don't know, like. They treat you with respect, which is a very Kiwi thing, and give you like a gift. But then when they come in prepared. So like they'll have like a page full of questions. And like I know lots of league players and none of them are asking these types of questions. And the way I reckon they move differently is they see themselves as brands and they see themselves as business people as well. 100. And they move while they're at their peak, where you'll see a lot of football players start coming towards the end, like, hey guys, can I come for a coffee? Like, so man, I think it's maybe the All Black culture where they network a lot differently and they get like a lot of big high profile stars to come in. I don't know. It's just impressive to see.
They're encouraged to sort of explore that part as well. Like, no off the field stuff is ever discouraged because it never comes at the expense of what they do on the field, especially the All Blacks brand. Oh, pardon me. The All Blacks brand is obviously global, which helps. You know, they get to go and sit in the Patriots fucking, you know, video sessions and go hang out at Manchester United and shit like that. Like,
they sit courtside at Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, they're like a proper global brand. Well, that's because Sean Marks loves his Kiwi guy. But they're off the field sort of passions and pursuits. It's like, it's almost part and parcel of, if you're an All Black who's just in there just playing footy and smacking bacon and egg with the boys on the weekends, they would kind of look at you sideways like,
that's
what are
weird.
you doing with your money? What are you doing? What's your plan here? Like, all of them have off the field interests, and you would probably be the first one to explain that. An off the field interest only helps football. Like, if you can get away from it, especially like the pressure of being a fucking All Black World Cup year where you're expected to win every fucking 4 years, like, they can pull themselves away and focus on anything, sports cards or whatever they decide to focus on. But the whole media machine of the All Blacks is incredible. Like, you talk to them and they just talk different. They walk different. Like
the fact that Artie would fly him and his wife over just to come have like a meeting with me. It's like, where we've got 8 teams in Sydney. I know most of the football players and they kind of want to move into business, but maybe it's like an Aussie New Zealand type thing. You know what I mean? Where
I'm sure there is some cultural differences, but like, I guarantee you'd see the same sort of, probably not as high intensity, but a lot of the Wallabies boys would have that same sort of approach. It's just a different level of professionalism.
White collar? Is that
I just think it's a different level of professionalism in rugby union.
It's definitely changing. Like, look at, like, for example, like whenever Connor Watson's in here, he comes through, it feels like he's got a lot of questions about what we're doing, how we're doing it.
He carries a notepad.
Yeah. So,
but like, I reckon one team that moves like them is probably Melbourne.
Yeah.
So you look at Cheese, he's just dropped like Budgie. Look at Munster and Addo Carr. Like, they had merch that's aligned with Origin.
You got the 4 Point boys as well, who do their little
4 Point. Yeah. So maybe it's organisational, the way it sort of drips down, where Melbourne's probably been successful and they've seen what it's like when Craig Bellamy gets someone in and they do a speech and they start talking about different things and how they can move differently. Like,
who owns Melbourne? Like, who's the politest of Melbourne?
Isn't it like News Limited? Like, like Daily Telegraph or some shit like that.
Yeah, you see, like even like someone as low as like not as low, but like Cooper Johns has his little grilled burger deals and whatnot. So they're using their brand outside of it.
Kenny Bromwich is a really smart guy. I don't think he'll dive into too many businesses. I know he's 4 points, but like, he asks like a lot of questions very similar to like those All Blacks. But he's like sneaky. Like, he'll ask questions and then he'll go do the research. 2 weeks later, he's 2 times smarter than what you were on that subject. So he kind of moves like that. Maybe
he moves like that on the field.
Pappy and his spreadsheets.
Pappy, he does Excel spreadsheets on cards. So, man, maybe it's organisational culture that sort of drips down, that sort of will set people up for life after football. And All Blacks are probably doing it the best, and then probably Melbourne.
Kiwi's a bit like that of the Roosters. That's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, that they've probably got the network of doom that they can sort of fuck around with.
The biggest. They always talk about the biggest shift in their culture was when Sonny Bill sort of came in as well.
Yeah,
he's got that All Blacks fucking. Aaron even talks about that. Like, when Sonny came into All Blacks camp, he was on another level from them.
Yeah,
so there's certain outliers in that respect as well.
And like Kerry, like, we went for a coffee and we both love football. And we had about an hour and a half coffee. I reckon about 5 minutes of it would have been footy chat. Everything else was just like business. I was half hoping to come pick his brain and stuff, but he just wants to talk bizzo on that. So, yeah, they move a little bit differently as well. But like Roosters, bro, they're so private. Like,
yeah, they are.
What the fuck are you up to? And like,
stop winning comms.
Harry's winning comms, you motherfuckers. But like, none of their personnels are like very outgoing. Like, they're all just low key dudes that kill it.
Yeah, the Roosters brand, the All Blacks brand, the Melbourne brand, there's a theme there. Like, they are all powerful entities in themselves. So maybe
it's done with like leadership, like who runs them as well. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's important.
Very much. Speaking of brands, we're trying to chase a few. Shameless plug here for we might be bringing a few sales in-house. Do you want to touch on that as well? Because I know that's sort of the next evolution of YKTR and YKTR Sports is we already spoke about bringing that under our own umbrella. Touch on kind of where we're at with it first and then what you wanted to look at moving forward.
Do you want to touch on it?
Yeah, so
this is kind of like Luke. They're going to be one of Lukey's new roles as well, like sales and like growth of YKTR Sports. Kind of broad, but I'll let him touch on it.
Yeah, anyone who knows me knows that I watch a lot of content, and I even watch a lot of ours. So I think I'm the best person to sell and market our product. And I've always been cluey in the ad market. Like one of the favorite podcasts that I referred you to ages ago is the DigiDay one.
Yeah, good podcast.
So it's a podcast that they always talk about media and like who's buying who, and like Vox just bought this new media company purely for a podcast platform. So all that part of what we're doing really excites me. And yeah, I just want to be a bit more proactive with marketing our product to grow obviously all our accounts, but then to be able to monetize that off the back of trying to reach out to the companies, and because the relationship that we have with our ads partner, anything that we generate in-house,
we get 100% off. Yeah.
So we can go out and make these connections, and I want to understand that world a little bit more, and it's a way that I can utilize the skills that I've got from previous life in this life, and I think it's a good little hybrid for me.
I kind of hate half outsourcing. Like, well, I think we're at the point now where, like, I know Gary Vee, he wants everything in-house, like content production, all that sort of stuff, and a big reason we're hiring Caleb is because I want shit in-house. Yeah. So it's like the stuff's done on our time. We're not going like, we need to use a freelancer. They're like, oh, hey, I'm just in Byron for the next 10 days. I'm like, fuck. So, and it's sort of the same thing with the ads platform. Like, they've been really good. They've taught us a lot of things, but we just kind of want to get the ball rolling a little bit quicker, because I reckon we're making fucking mad content. Like, how is like all our content not sponsored? Probably because we're not reaching out. And there's a lot of money that's in the TV space and the radio space that's eventually going to come over to the podcast space. But I reckon there's a couple businesses out there right now, when I'm talking to a couple already, that they just want to be a part of what we're doing here at YKTR Sports. And they can see our vision. And they just want their name down the bottom and maybe go to a dinner and that. So, but also that, like, you look at Barstool Sports, who's big motivation for me and Lukey over here. We love everything that they do, and ad reads are a big part of what they do. It's a third of their revenue.
I love my Flagrant 2 podcast with Andrew Schultz. Like,
it's just a part of it.
3 or 4 ads consistently every episodes, and I think it's about, like, from like the content perspective. Obviously, we're producing lots of content, but it's also like we're entertaining, we're doing everything like that, but it's got to. You can't just keep doing that to a degree. Like,
that's branding. Great for branding.
Branding helps us sell the clothes and everything like that, but we're almost transcended being just a clothing brand now. We're much more than that. So,
we're long past that.
Yeah. So if you are a brand that sort of you think you fit the vibe, Luke at yktr.com.au.
Do we have a
at YKTR?
Oh, no, we've got a partnership one. Yeah, we'll figure that out for the next one. I'll definitely be looking at that mailbox and getting that going. But or flick us a DM if you're a brand, if you know the sort of content that we produce, if you think you're like a Flagrant 2 type, any type of American ad that you products here in Australia, I don't know.
If you don't take yourself fucking seriously, you want to be on that content, come through.
You know, you were just saying then, like, it's part of the show, like with Flagrant and that.
I enjoy the ad reads.
Your boy Theo Vaughan, who I know you've just gone down the rabbit hole on, his ad reads like are unmissable. Like, I don't even know, like, you half don't know what he's selling, but it gets in your head. Yeah, but his ad reads are fucking hilarious. Like Geordie for an ad read, it'd be fucking all time. Like. If you don't have to get it
and then read. You just got to build it into the system as well, because like the boys will come do like a pre-recorded one, but they're fucking so shit. But when like, I'm listening to them, I'm like,
when Geordie just
so
goes,
shit.
It's way better.
I think that's on me moving forward. It's like trying to coach that culture where it's like, and giving them enough examples for them to understand like why it's important with them doing the ad read. So I think moving forward,
their tone makes me laugh. You can tell when they're reading and then when they're trying to ad lib, it's so clear.
But there's so many examples where you can like listen to an ad read and be entertained by the actual ad read. So
one sort of thing we talked about yesterday is probably not leaking so much of what we do in terms of sampling. Like we're probably at the point now where like a lot of brands are sort of looking up to us, and I've always said you can copy us all you want, and then lately I've been like, you can copy our clothes but you can't copy our content. So like I'm leaking stuff that we're dropping like 6 months or 12 months from now.
Yeah, I've always felt like I love the transparency. Yeah, I love this show. Some stuff we can keep in house at least for a period.
Yeah,
sorry guys.
So it's just like there's a lot of people tagging me in brands out there, and you look at them and like, shit, that's us.
You look at their caption, it's like, shit, we're dropping on the 3rd. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then I heard like I've seen ones where they're like inspire change through clothing. Like it's actually like taglines and everything. So transparency has always been a big part of what we've done and what we'll do into the future. But in saying that, it's also made me going, all right, now I've got a bit more time on my hands with delegating and all this sort of stuff. I want to fucking level up on our clothes and
make a cool product. Yeah.
And essentially we're a fucking t-shirt and hoodie brand. Like you can't change it too much, but I want to keep those cards a little bit closer to my chest.
I think our friend, we've brought him up on the potty before, Georgie Heaton does it really well. Like he'll have all these photos banked and he'll start leaking it just sort of like we do, but it's not 3-4 months in advance. It's sort of like a month before and then it drops.
I put up a post yesterday that won't come out till like April next year. Like shit like that.
So people plenty of time to manufacture.
Anyway, I think you were a bit more strategic with it. It was like a very zoomed in as opposed to what it has been in the past.
But I do want Caleb to film that type of stuff in terms of the like dialogue that I say when I'm making stuff. But like some of the new techniques that I've learned from our supplier and education I've got, I think I'll be able to take, and the different techniques that we can use, and you probably can see them from the back end. It's going to be hard to replicate us pretty soon.
And sort of on that topic,
give us a year, it'd be hard.
Probably a bit more of a trending topic, but like how cool was it to watch the Nelk vlog last week where they documented 12 months of making that alcohol?
Yeah,
and they hadn't shown any content of it until that moment. So
I think that's going to be sort of an evolution of the fly on the wall thing that we did for the drop. What was that? 3 weeks ago? I think having Caleb in-house to capture all of the in-between moments.
And just store it in a file.
Stockpile it. Yeah. And then we drop some mad little mini doco.
Helps with the new internet that's coming through soon, so we can just server all that stuff.
We got the NASA internet coming.
Yeah.
Sorry, one of the roles that was sort of talked about was Scope's role yesterday.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So like, so I kind of like, I was like, fuck, what's he actually doing like here? And like, I was just sitting in my office. I was like, I don't feel like he's doing enough, but I was probably pushing him into the wrong types of roles.
It wasn't through lack of effort.
Yeah. He was sitting there like, just, and I'm like, bro, what's he actually doing? So, and like, it's hard because I kind of compare people to like Lukey and yourself, and like, you can't treat everyone sort of the same. So we've kind of moved his role into something that will be dropping soon. Ish. Yeah.
Scope does his best work in the community and organising like his golf day that's coming up at the back end of the year. All that sort of stuff is very Scope.
And like research. He's a really good researcher, and I love his written stuff. He's such a good writer. Mate, he just doesn't really see how good of a writer he is.
I go over the top of obviously all of the written work that we produce.
Yeah.
His is the least, what's the word? Like subbed work.
Yeah.
Out there. And it's very, typed in a WhatsApp message.
It's typed in a WhatsApp message. It's very like, it's in his tone. He can capture a voice. He's got a narrative. He does the old sandwich theory where he starts with like, he teases you, leads you in, and then he circles back to it. Like structurally, he writes really well, which is very rare for someone who has no sort of formal training in that space.
So I'll sort of take him away from like tasky things like designing clothes. Like he's probably not his forte, but he will spend like half a day on it when I was trying to push him towards that, and just move him towards where his strengths are.
I think maybe this is how quickly shit moves here. Is like 2 or 3 weeks ago,
I was taking timesheets on him.
Yeah, but you're that's ridiculous. But
that's very Danny accounting advice.
Yeah, no. You were onto me giving him GST as well. You weren't letting that happen.
He's like, oh, Scope's doing. I was like, no, he hasn't. Don't cover for him. Tell me what he's doing.
But you were kind of, I think in your head, obviously you've just been with Luke for so long. You wanted everyone to be a Swiss Army knife. You wanted everyone to be able to do everything. Where the reality is Scope does so much stuff better than Luke and I do so much stuff better than Scope. It's easier just to balance it to what our strengths are and double down in that space rather than getting him trying to, design a whole collection of merch. Like Luke can do that in fucking 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, like, and then I kind of want Scope to be like, he's already a really good podcaster. Yep. Fuck, I almost want him to be like the best podcaster we have in house easily. So good, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And him spending an extra hour on research and finding that one fucking question that turns into the best micro content that adds us more followers. I'd rather him do that. And like, he's really good at research. We've got a couple cool long form projects that you're going to be working on. Yep. He's going to be working on that I'm excited about. So it's not so much like, oh, let's just do a podcast. It's thought out. It's planned. There's a bit of a business model behind it. So yeah, I think that's where his strength lies. And we'll sort of talk about his role a little bit more later when we do our next little project, which is I'm excited about. Yeah,
well, you've just touched on Scope's podcast there, but we're trying to identify a new podcast because we're always looking to expand as much as we're comfortable with where we are. Do you want to touch on that as well? Like obviously the bringing more podcasts or identifying fresh podcasts under the umbrella, you already spoke about it yesterday, but what does that look like?
I just think we can, like, I think we got the platform and we're going to be so much bigger that we can help people. And like, I don't want to own IP. I just want to give, like, those Chicks and Balls podcasts, like, we doubled their followers just by giving away a $300 gift card Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've got that type of influence. We've done that with 4 Points collectibles back in the day. So I just want to use this leverage that we have to help like a lot of up and comers, because podcasts, and as we know, but we've got really good podcasts, but there's still not that much money in it. Like Scope would be one of the highest paid podcasters in Australia, and he's not even on like that much, or he deserves to be on more as a podcaster. So I think eventually we'll be
bringing the sales in house would help that.
Bringing sales in house. The next couple of things that we've got planned will definitely help. Where hopefully we've got a bit of money where we can just sort of pay people to come underneath the platform, but like let them have their IP, and we'll just sort of produce and stuff like that for them.
Once we have the studio, I mean, we're very close to it being a fully functioning, running.
I like
it,
studio. I really like it.
Yeah, it is cool. In theory, like someone like, you know, people can come in and just use the space on a weekend, hire it out. Like the space itself, we can monetize the space, let alone just bring in podcasts and sort of formally under.
Yeah, we can monetize the space, or we can fucking help people get fucking bigger.
Yeah.
Imagine like realistically, imagine if like 257 were underneath us. But like they still owned all their IP, but then like they could like we could manufacture content for them, and then like I could probably mentor them as well. You know what I mean? And like they do okay.
Yeah.
But fuck, they've got some potential.
Yeah.
But they'd want to be their own identity as well. So someone like them would be awesome.
But I think the engine though, like let's say it's like using, for lack of a better example, them. Like it's not just they'd come in for the podcast. It's like about monetizing it through their merch, and then having like it's like the 3-pronged approach that we can really add value in, which I don't see any other media company doing.
Thick Boy Studios.
Thick Boy Studios, yeah, and my good friends at Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
And saying that, like 2-5, they're kind of similar to us, like footy guys, but they're current, like they do vlogs and podcasts and stuff
I think
like
what
that.
you're saying is like bringing that under and then attaching the 3 arms that we have that
plug it into the machine.
Yeah,
that's
we
what
can help with the merch. We can help with the micro stuff. We can help with the marketing. Like you guys still do your shit. We're not touching it in terms of like narrative, or we're not trying to restructure the show at all or change characters. All we'd do is help the bottom of it and help you scale out.
And like in terms of machine, like I say this like respectfully, like Jordan and Scope, like who would have given them a chance before we did?
He said on the vlog, he said, Channel 9 Fox, you had your chance. I'm getting YKTR tattooed on me.
Yeah, and like, you know what I mean? Like Scope's just come back from Super League. Like not too many people would have known what he's been up to. Like who gives him a chance? And then you plug him into the machine. He can walk around and take photos and sign autographs and shit now. And he can move into business. Same with Geordie. Like Geordie's been our friend for a while and I always knew he had talent. But once you come into like, and this is, when I say machine, we're only fucking little kiddies machine right now. It's like Dave Portnoy says it about the, Alex Cooper.
Yeah.
Like there's obvious talent out there, but sometimes they just need to be plugged into a machine that can help them scale out. So I want to build that machine on the internet.
Yeah, we need some Alex Coopers around the office, like in terms of like talent that comes in. That like the good thing about like podcasts that you see that are going around, they're the people that self-edit and all that sort of stuff.
That's the dream.
That's mad. Like, and then like to get our flavor, not flavor is probably the wrong word, our education and resources behind them. To like someone like an Alex Cooper would be off its head.
Yeah, and like a lot of those Barstool people self-produce and do all their stuff. So like that's kind of like the dream, and you sort of plug them in, and obviously there'll be a clip back there eventually somewhere. Like you know what I mean? You're actually using our leverage to build your own stuff, but
even someone
we can still help so many people, man.
Yeah. I don't need to throw in another Barstool reference.
But like those guys from Big Athletic, the union content.
Yeah, I was speaking to them today.
Yeah.
So they're another one that like when we sort of first put that call out, like, hey, we love rugby union. Anyone doing out there? Well,
What
that
a
was
Lad.
overwhelmingly, What a Lad podcast.
Our DMs went crazy.
The Big Athletic boys were all anyone was sending. So I'm talking to them today.
I like how it's kind of niche and they focus on like club footy.
They love it.
Shoot was so good, bro.
Yeah,
we got to go to North Sydney Oval. Watch
let's do it.
That's sick.
Let's vlog.
Nah, East Rugby, bro. Come to the local.
Some of the like Clary's mates play for them, eh?
So I was hungover there. He goes, come to the hill, sit on the hill, and it's mad. So I got a podcast with them on tomorrow. So
in here?
Nah, they got a podcast studio.
Oh, you go and do theirs?
Yeah, they've just launched theirs. So man, maybe like I know Pick Athletic are good, but Clary, and he's got this dude James Mayer. Fuck, he's the funniest dude.
Rugby, bro. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That'd be sort of the perfect scenario for us. And like we all know Clary's a good dude. So yeah, What a Lad. Like, I've been listening to the pranks. I reckon Fuck, Simi will be good on pranks, but his tone's so like you can't.
He gets so nervous.
Yeah, nah.
I reckon he'd struggle.
Anything half scripted, I just
Yeah.
let the boy float.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously I've got some goals around food and music sort of moving forward as well. So want that collaboration. But like as we're building out our goals for YKTR, those shows are just going to build themselves. And obviously once I get capital, I'm gonna like I got a goal by next year to launch 3 original shows that are 6-part series. So I've got that in my mind as well.
Fuck, it's a fun place to work, man. Despite what this show sometimes might tell you, it's a fun place to work.
Yeah. This is the show that like,
I love this show.
Yeah,
polarizing.
Like, this is the most polarizing show because I'll get people going like, "Oh fuck, like Simi's going to be way bigger than you anyway," and like, yeah, cool.
That's the point, man.
Yeah,
that's actually the point.
They're like, "Oh, you're trying to micromanage Sky," which probably for 2 weeks I was, but then I'm like, bro, like I'm giving these guys so much opportunity, and like you guys sit in conversations where I'm like, this is what I'm going to try and do next year, and this is what I'm trying to do year after, and I might give you guys equity in it if you guys, you know what I mean, like.
The other thing is as well,
people don't see that
I was talking to Misso about like thinking back to when I turned up on your doorstep and said, "Hey, bro, I'm flying to Australia. I need a job." Yeah. Everything that you said to me in those 3 months prior about, all right, well, here's what I can do for you. Here's where we're going to get to. Yeah. It all is happening. So it's like people think that we're very reactionary and sometimes might feel like we're flying by the seat of our pants, but you're a very like methodical approach to things. And like you don't throw shit out willy-nilly. Like when you say you want Scope and Simi to be the biggest podcasters in Australia and outgrow us, that is a legitimate goal. Like
yeah. Like people go, "Oh, Scope's a better podcaster than you at football." And I was like, his job is to like interview football players. Like I don't want to interview football players. And I was like, that's what I was
just
like,
a few All Blacks.
Yeah, a few All Blacks and that. But I'm literally going to Scope, bro, I want you to be the biggest fucking podcast. When he sits in my office and like, he's on the chair and I'm like, bro, I want you to be the biggest. So like I don't think, fuck it, who cares? Yeah. As long as you guys know, like I don't care if I get bagged. I'll get bagged more and more. It's just gonna happen with growth.
It's part of the parcel.
Yeah, grateful.
Inside YKTR, baby. That was a fun one.
It was.
Cheers, boys.